Hi there, this is Robin. Let's look at the basic controls of Drifter, Warframe's secondary character, how to choose equipment, the decrease system, UnderCroft, and how to defeat the Orowyrm. Let's start with Drifter's basic controls. On a PC, you can use WASD to move, and otherwise you can use the left lever on the controller to move. On a PC, hold down Shift while entering the move. Otherwise, press the left lever on the controller to enter the dash mode. Then, use the mouse or the right lever of the controller to move the viewpoint. You can use the jump button to get over small steps. Drifter can also use lock on. You can lock on with the axis button. To change the lock on target, move the viewpoint, and to unlock it, press the same button again. This button is also used to access chests. Also, remember the crouch button. It is not often pressed by itself, but sometimes it is pressed together with other buttons. Holding it down while moving is often used to accelerate by sliding. Next, let's look at how to use weapons. Drifter's main weapon is the sun and moon. You can swing it with the melee button. The sub-weapon, a pistol, is used to clear gimmicks and cancel enemy magical attacks. It can be fired with a fire button. You can fire endlessly, but you cannot aim, and you cannot fire in rapid succession. If you want to break enemy's guard, use a melee weapon and press the heavy melee attack button. On the other hand, you can guard yourself. If you guard at the right time, you can just guard and trigger a counter. This is essential to defeat the boss on the horse, so be sure to learn it. Then, here is a tip to defeat the boss on horse. This boss health is divided into 3 parts, and when 1/3 of it is cut off, the boss health gauge turns gray and it becomes invincible. To break it, you need to stun it by activating a counter. The meteor-like ball of light and the shockwave from the soul can be countered. If countering with a guard is not successful, you can stun the boss by shooting at it when its head is marked. Once you have stunned the boss with a counter or shooting, you can use the axis button for additional attacks. After the additional attack, the invincibility will be broken. Then you can attack and do the same action again. So, guarding is an important action. However, it is clear that even if you can only guard, you will suffer. So be sure to learn the other control as well. You can send a slash by pressing the guard button and the heavy melee attack button at the same time. You cannot send slashes continuously, and you can send them again when the gauge is full. When you are fighting an enemy, the enemy may launch an attack that cannot be guarded against. You can't guard against attacks when the enemy is making marks or beam attacks. In such cases, use rolling to avoid them. You can roll by pressing the crouch button shortly while moving. However, even if you avoid by rolling, you may still take damage. In such cases, use abilities to recover your health. Health is shown in the upper right corner. Drifter has 4 abilities, the third of which is the health recovery ability. Not only this ability, but all the Drifter's abilities can be reused after a certain amount of time. The time until the ability can be used again appears in the lower right corner of the screen, so be sure to check it carefully. There is also a second ability that tells you where to go next in the first quest. This ability has an additional effect when you get the skill. The fourth ability is the ability to create smoke screen. It makes you invisible, so use it well in a pinch. The first ability is the ability to summon a horse and ride it. You can dismount from the horse by either reactivating the ability or by pressing the melee weapon button. The horse grows wings and can fly by pressing the crouch and jump button at the same time. Press and hold the jump button to rise, and press and hold the crouch button to descend. If you are knocked off your horse, you can remount it by activating the first ability in the air. You can roll by pressing the crouch button, but it is not essential and if the drifter is lost in battle, they can revive a certain number of times by holding down the access button. Also, drifters are vulnerable to falling damage, so a fall can be enough to disable them from fighting. These are the basic controls of Drifter, the secondary character of Warframe. Next, choose your equipment. First, choose the Warframe, the primary character of this game, from among 3 options. If you have already played the game, you may be able to choose your favorite Warframe. If you haven't played the game yet, you can choose from Frost, Mirage, Neja, Oberon, Protea, Rhino, Serene, Stynex, Wukong, Volt, Excalibur, or Mag. You can choose 3 Warframes from among the following Warframes. It is best to use the character you want to control, but if you are concerned about durability, Rhino or Neja is better. Rhino has a second ability, and Neja has the third ability to provide additional armor. You can test out abilities on Warframes that you do not yet own, so you can use that as a reference for your decision. After selecting a Warframe, choose a weapon. You can try out weapons, so be sure to do so if you are unfamiliar with any of the weapons. You can change weapons and Warframes until you pass through the gate. If you want to increase the number of weapons and Warframes you can control, go the path of the Warframe. I've made a video on how to switch between them. Once you have selected your Warframe, primary weapon, secondary weapon, and melee weapon, all the frames in the upper section will be filled. Proceed through the gate and enter the world of Duviri. Next, we will look at Decree. The best way to take full advantage of the Decree system is the Duviri experience mode. You can select Decree by defeating enemies or clearing puzzles. A U-shaped light will appear near the gimmick, so use it as a landmark. Decrees give Drifter and Warframe additional abilities and make them stronger, since headshot-related decrees are somewhat difficult to use. I recommend decrees that restore health or deal status effects to the enemy. And there are 2 especially powerful decrees. They are the Fleet-Footed and Majestic Strike decrees. Fleet-Footed is the ability to move faster the more decrees you get. It is quite useful because it allows you to move faster than a horse and Warframe. Majestic Strike is simply stronger because it makes Drifter's melee attacks stronger. When you see these 2 decrees, be sure to choose them. You can see the decrees you have got so far by hovering your cursor over them on the right side. This will help you choose the one with the best synergy effect. This is an overview of the decree system. Decrees are also effective in UnderCroft and Circuit, so if you feel your equipment is unreliable, use it properly. Next, let's take a look at UnderCroft. The UnderCroft is an underground space in the world of Duviri, where you control a Warframe, the primary character of the game, to complete challenges. The basic controls of Warframe are summarized in the past videos, so please check them out for more details. UnderCroft offers a variety of missions, including Exterminate, Defense, Survival, Excavate, and Flood. Exterminate can be completed by defeating the enemy. In the defense mission, you must defeat the enemy while protecting the defensive target. In the survival mission, you must survive for 5 minutes without the left gauge reaching 0 to complete the mission. The gauge can be recovered by defeating enemies and picking up capsules, or by activating the machine with the access button if the gauge is below 70%. Excavation progresses by picking up capsules dropped by enemies and bringing them close to the digging machine while protecting it. Flood missions are carried out by picking up blue-green balls, storing them in a vessel, and staying at the marker. To pick up the blue-green balls, simply hit them when the vessel on the left side of the Warframe is full, you won't be able to pick up any more balls, so you must stay at the marked point. You can also get them by killing enemies. This is an overview of UnderCroft. The last step is how to defeat Orowyrm. Follow the markers and access the glaives named Orbis to begin. The first goal is to approach Orowyrm by riding a horse into the sky. If you try to jump directly in front of the Orowyrm will spit fire, so it is safer to aim for the middle of the Orowyrm. Orowyrm will send out fireballs from the top of its head, which you must destroy with the fire bottom. When the fireball is approaching and the size of the fireball is the same as that of the frame in the center, it is a good time to throw the Orbis. Breaking the fireball generates a wind that accelerates the horse. Adjust the horse to the area where the wind is blowing. Once you are close enough, the joints will glow light blue. Press the fire button to jump over. Once you have jumped, move to the joint at the head. First, adjust your viewpoint in the direction of Orowyrm's head. Then, jump and aim at the next joint and press the fire button to move to the next joint. An electric ring will appear from the direction of the head. Trying to defeat Drifter, jump down with a well-timed jump and jump over with the fire button. When you reach a joint near the head, use the axis button to transfer and control Orowyrm. Once you have controlled the Orowyrm, press the fire button to spit fire and destroy the tower in the air. Then, go through the gate to the final stage. Here, destroy the glowing red ring attached to Orowyrm. If you don't have enough firepower, access the Arcwing gun and use it. When you have reduced its health by 1/3, Dax will appear, and you must defeat them. After that, destroy the ring again. When you have reduced its health by 1/3 again, defeat the wormlings flying in the sky. At this time, the damage from Orowyrm's area of effect is intense, so be careful in your positioning. After that, attack the red ring in the same way as before. Once you have destroyed all of them, you will be able to defeat the boss. Finally, access the chest and go straight back to the gate to receive your reward. You will now get your reward. This is an overview of Warframe's new Duviri Paradox content. Thank you very much for watching. I will make a video about Circuit in the future. See you next time. Bye.